Alright, so going over homework for tonight, these first two questions, A and B, these are the first lesson called 5-1, and that's dealing with the zero patterns. Okay, and these next two questions, C and D, these are from lesson 5-2, and that's estimating. So if you need more practice, like if you find some of these hard, you know what ones you need to study more of. Okay, so let's look at the first one first. So when I'm dividing this, what a lot of students end up doing, I see in class, is this. But you don't have to do this. There is a zeros trick that you can use, okay? So if we set it up exactly the way it is, we can look for our basic facts, 15 divided by 3. Now, if you don't like division, you can use inverse operation and make it a multiplication problem. You say, what times 3 is 15? 5 times 3 is 15. Now I cross out the zeros. Those are in common. So I'm bringing it down by a power 10. I'm bringing it down by another power 10. And now I have 1 0 left to bring over. So again, 5 times 3 is 15. I cross out the zeros they have in common. 2 on this side, 2 on this side. There's 1 left over, and I bring that down. And so my quotient, or answer, is 50. Okay? Same thing, except this time I made it a little trickier, and you have the answer. You need to figure out this missing number. So, same steps though. 48 divided by what is 6? If you don't like division, turn it into multiplication. 6 times what is 48? If you're not sure, you know by now you can always write out your multiples. 6, 12, and 18, 24, 30, 36, and 42, 48. Oh! So it's 6 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 6 times 8 is 48. Now I see 1 0. That means that in the end there's 1 0 left over. So this one must have had a 0 to cancel out with this 0. And this must have had another 0 to cancel out. So this mystery number must have been 800. That way this would have been the 0 to carry over to the answer. If you need more help on that, where you have the blank in the middle, the divisor is missing, then be aware of that these are ones that you need help with, okay? This kind looks hard, and again, we're not doing standard algorithm, we're just estimating. So this is the one where you can say, wait a minute, I'm not calling that 31, I'll just call that 30. And now I need something that 3 goes into easy, and I can put zeros behind it. Right when I see this number 28, I think, ooh, what if I just made that 30,000? Instead of 28,000, I make it 30,000. 3 divided by 3 is 1. Cross out the zeros they have in common. I still have 3 zeros. I'll have to put them in my quotient or my answer. That is the estimate. Oops, sorry. That is the estimate. And this last one. Again, looks scary. I say, wait a minute, I'm estimating. I'm just going to make this divisor nice and easy. I look at that 8. I'm really focusing on my basic facts. 8 goes into something. If I'm not sure, some of you can see it right away. Some of you need to count by 8s. 8, 16, 24, 32, and 40, 48, 54. Sorry. 56. 64 and 72. So if I count up by 8s, I see 8 goes into 64. That's pretty close. So what if I make it 64 with 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros? So instead of 631,000, I'm making it 640,000. Now I can say to myself, something times 8 is 64. 8 times 8 is 64. Cross out the 0 they have in common. Cross out the other zeros they have in common. 2 left over. I bring them into my quotient or answer. That means my answer would be about 800. Okay? Now, I went over these, which means you know the answers, but it doesn't mean that you're comfortable. If you still have questions, you have to ask. You also, if you still have questions, like say I found this one tricky, then I would make problems like this and look in the book. You can use the textbook, you can use your workbook, and start to study some of that, okay? Same with these. If you have trouble with any of these, study them, okay? That you have to do what's best for you, and if you need a little extra practice, you need to know that. Alright, so tomorrow, ask questions if you need to, and we are going to be moving on to lesson 5-3.